project started 5 years ago, almost, maybe a little more now. And it was launched as the West County Community Seed Exchange, and the idea was to create a local repository of seeds and to just create basically a community seed bank. But almost immediately we realized it would just be great to have a garden that was dedicated to growing seed, where we could teach seed saving, grow seed, and get some population sizes that were a little better than home gardens, and know that the quality was a little higher, and actually really get the number of seeds we have in our seed library up a little. So the church gave us the use of a room for the library, and then the use of the property.
So the folks that are actually doing the seed, like that brassica, whatever
that's Lacinato rainbow.
Lacinato rainbow. Okay, are those youth?
No,
like young people?
No, that's all old people.
It's all old people.
We're always out here going, where are the young people? This is a little bit of breeding project I'm doing with some unknown varieties that were just given to me. That one's a really big, beefy, like big bean, really easy to crack open the shell, and the other one's a really long one.
Oh, so you're crossing them?
Yeah, so I've been growing them together, and we're trying to see if we can combine some of the features, and we go through and kind of replant the ones that are most similar.
Right, and actually Favas will very easily cross,
yeah.
even if they're away.
And then the one behind is an onion bed. It's Newburgh, which is a pretty old, it's an old variety.
It's a great one. No, it's a great one.
Yeah.
I'm very familiar with it.
So we're doing Newburgh. And that's based on a lot of trials of, we have a couple, including myself, a few other really serious gardeners who spend a lot of time looking for crops that do well here, that, good save.
Well, you know what this is? It's originally, it was again a mushroom Alan Capula project that he took an old Vilmoron variety called Burgos. It was a hybrid, and he basically dehybridized it, selected out the ones he liked, and this is totally open pollinated now, and it's been shown, we've had it in commercial trials, and it's as good as any hybrid onion.
That's what people have been
That's what I love about it. It's like, we don't have to be slaves to those onions.
Everybody here is pretty new at seed saving and has done just a little bit, so it's also just a huge educational element. That's been my focus, traveling around on the educational element.
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's good that people are actually interested in seed saving. That's like the first step.
There's a huge receptivity here.
Yeah.
I've been a nonprofit here for my whole life.
Yay.
So it's like, come on.
And she's still alive.
And the Occidental Arts and Ecology Center, I mean, they have a huge seed bank, but they do their plant sales, 3 times in the spring, and then so a lot of people get their plants from OAC, so yeah, I think it's really on the home garden scale.
Home garden front, a void of actual seed to market connection.
I mean, OAC is great for like the repository of diversity kind of, and that's huge, wonderful, and it's a wonderful resource to have. Most other places don't have anything like this, but and that's a great place to start. But then, if it doesn't get beyond your backyard, it's great for you, but maybe it needs to get out more. You need some kind of a direction or a plan to put you in touch with the market, really. So that's really the...
Exactly. But we're also looking, is that just to kind of put our feet out, just kind of test the market, let people know that we're growing seeds and have people give us a response. How do you like our seeds? Are they doing well? We're producing locally. It's going to do, like anything that's produced locally usually always does better than something commercially from somewhere else.
One of the things you may want to do is, if you haven't done it already, is connecting with some of the local organic produce growers that, maybe those people that are growing 1 to 20 acres or whatever, in these intensive operations. And what are they growing? What are they looking for? Are they getting all the seed that they want? And most of them, they usually buy from the usual suspects.
Carly and Annie, Annie's lived here for over 10 years and been farming the whole time. And Carly's been here almost her whole life, pretty much. So they know a lot of farmers, tons of farmers in this area.
Yeah, we do. We already connected. We gave our quinoa that we've been growing for 4 years to Bloomfield Farm. Try to do some trials this year. Do a bigger grow out, and so we definitely know amongst us a lot of people.
A lot of receptivity of potential growing sites.
And it'd be great to know what people really want. I mean, what they're really looking for. Because then that'll help you guys as seed growers to go, okay, we're going to put our efforts here.
Is there a few things, or that, like maybe it's the beans, or maybe it's carrots, beets, whatever it is that you'd want to grow, maybe a little bit that would go into your racks, but maybe a little bit larger to then go towards a larger supply for like a regional base for farmers, kind of, because I think our discussion and hope would be that we would network with a number of people, and they could focus on 2 to 3 or 4, maybe more crops that they could go into this collective pool of a catalog resource for farmers at more of a scale.
Personally, I would much rather go for farmers. In terms of my vision and the bigger movement and the work that I want to be doing. I know it's not maybe as economical, or I don't know. Actually, I don't know a lot about it yet, but that would be where I would like to get to. With that.
Is there a form of compensation yet, or is this still something in the works?
Well, that's what, it is it's all in the works, but that was kind of that idea of breaking down the percentage part, because it might be in that crop, you guys are doing everything, even storing it, and the only part that you're needing supported is in the distribution out to the farmers. But or you might have that distribution covered. In that respect, you take 100%. But if you just need that extra support, or is it a certain crop that we pulled together as a collective that has some equipment that makes the processing a lot more efficient, so that at a certain point it goes to a place or the equipment comes here to
or
do
is it a
something.
crop that has been worked on for years that eventually becomes one that bulks out and becomes a future investment?
There's a huge food revolution happening in the Bay Area, just in the consumer restaurant.
So it seems like
farmer.
if we're going to do it anywhere, we should be able to do it here.
And then when you're talking about this to people who are kind of in the know, but they never thought about seed, because everyone's thinking like, oh, where's my food come from? But people aren't very asking like, oh, where's the seed?
Where did my food actually come from?
Where does your food? Where does the seed? Where does the food originate from? And it's like, oh, your food actually originated in Denmark or in China or these other places that have been gone through this long. So your food miles, the whole, like, I'm just bringing up the vernacular of people's eco-literacy around the food movement, when they're like, oh, my food miles are this thing, and it's like, well, let's go back one more to the seed, and then that really like opens up the dialogue. And then the next question some of these people ask is like, well, how many like seed companies of organic seed companies and processing places are there in the Bay Area? And you're like, 0.
Right?
Yeah,
There's none. And
much.
they go, what? Oh my god. And that makes, like, for a funder or someone who wants to do it, they're like, oh my gosh, I could be a part of something
That's what we've been looking at.
new.
Well.
Yeah,
Total void.
yeah. So there's that void, and yet how to go about doing that and setting it up, and it really has to be a collaborative. I think we have these good intentional projects or seed farm or seed companies and stuff, but they're set up under the same model where they're kind of alone in a way. They're not as connected, but they are naturally connected because the people running them are working towards a new model, right? But to create a new model that has this,
it's reflecting the system that exists, you know.
right. This is developing that then gets people excited about a whole alternative economic model, as well as a whole alternative farming model, seed model.
Yeah, now, and one idea that's been brought up is like people that have CSAs have like, you know, maybe 5% of the revenue from that particular item, like this bunch of kale, would go to the seed, would go to funding a seed project or something like that. You know, somehow tie that in. So seed it becomes like so embedded in our culture. Hi.
Hi. Sorry to interrupt. Hi.
Look at your little kids.
Hi. They're related.
You guys are so big. How do you get so big?
We got dressed up for the dump today.
Typically rooted, and then that creates where, you know, there's just not that ability to get out and connect as much, like, and just the need to be present and really like hands-on and grounded in one place. And so it's like finding those parts that create the bridge, like of what you were describing, Benjamin, to just connect other people in a wider range, and, you know, to help with the distribution, I